Welcome international students to our optional practical training, or better known as OPT information session. My name is Catherine Leonard and I am a designated school official admissions advisor. I will be hosting this information session. Let's get started. Let's discuss what is OPT. Optional practical training is a unique opportunity for international students to pursue work opportunities in the United States while still maintaining F1 student status. There are two types of OPT. Pre-completion OPT, which must be started before degree completion. Also, there is post-completion OPT, which must be started after degree completion. So what are the requirements of pre-completion OPT? Pre-completion OPT is an opportunity for F1 students to work in the United States prior to the completion of their degree. The jobs worked during pre-completion OPT must be directly related to the student's field of study and may only begin after a student has been in lawful F1 status for a minimum of 2 semesters of full-time study. Students on pre-completion OPT are not allowed to work more than 20 hours per week during full-time academic studies. Now, what are the requirements of post-completion OPT? Post-completion OPT is an opportunity for international students to pursue work opportunities in the United States after the completion of their degree while still maintaining F1 status. Students who are approved for post-completion OPT are authorized to work full-time for up to 12 months within the 14-month period following their degree completion. Also, students may work outside of the state of California when on post-completion OPT. The types of jobs worked under post-completion OPT must be directly related to a student's field of study. Additionally, post-completion OPT may only begin after a student has been in lawful F1 status for a minimum of 2 semesters of full-time study. Unlike curricular practical training, no specific job offer is required to apply for OPT. Post-completion OPT can only begin once you've completed all degree requirements. You might now be asking, why do most students choose post-completion OPT? Students pursuing OPT are limited to work no more than the equivalent of 12 months of part-time pre-completion OPT or the equivalent of 6 months full-time. Will only be eligible for 6 months of post-completion OPT. Here is an example, and please also note that post-completion OPT must be full-time. An overwhelming majority of students choose to participate in post-completion OPT. This allows them to stay in the United States and pursue career options for a longer period of time following the completion of their degree. Now let's discuss STEM OPT. Students who receive science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM degrees will be eligible for a 24-month extension or a total of 36 months or 3 years of OPT. You will have to file for an extension 60 days prior to your end date on your initial 12 months of OPT. If you're interested in learning more, please check out www.ice.gov for more information. So how do you apply? Before you apply for OPT, you'll need to check with your academic advisor and the registrar's office to make sure that you have met all the requirements to finish our degree program in the expected semester. You will complete the OPT request form and submit it to your academic advisor. After compiling all required paperwork, meet with admissions to make sure you have access to the following electronic forms, and that you have the documents ready to submit electronically to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. Here is what you need to do. Provide the signed request form to our NDNU DSO. Fill out and provide your Form G1145, e-notification of application petition acceptance form. Provide the original signed Form I-765 application for employment authorization. Provide a photocopy of your passport ID page with photo, passport number, and expiration date visible. Provide a photocopy of your visa. Provide a printout of I-94 arrival and departure document. Provide photocopies of previous I-20s and any previously issued employment authorization cards. Provide 2 U.S.-style passport photos. Be sure to write your name and I-94 number on the back of each photo. And finally, prepare a $470 check payable to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Once your academic advisor provides you your proof of approval, the admissions DSO will recommend your OPT request online in the Student and Exchange Visitor Information System. After the DSO recommends your OPT request in SEVIS, they will provide you with a new I-20. Then you immediately submit your documents with your $470 fee. USCIS periodically updates the I-765 form and corresponding application fee. Before applying for OPT, go to www.uscis.gov to make sure that you are sending the most updated form and fee. Currently, the fee is $470. When can you start work? You are not allowed to work on OPT until the start date listed on your employment authorization card. See the example shown here. Who keeps track of me during my 12 months of OPT? During your 12 months of OPT, you will remain in F1 status with your I-20 issued through NDNU. All employment issues will be handled between you and your employer. While you are not likely to be in frequent contact with NDNU during your 12+ months of OPT, you are still required to update a DSO at NDNU of any changes to your name, U.S. address, and employment information within 10 days of the change. According to the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement website, you may travel outside of the United States during OPT. For travel in and out of the U.S., a Customs and Border Patrol officer will only permit your re-entry into the U.S. if page 3 of your current I-20 has a non-expired signature from an NDNU DSO. When you are on OPT, a travel signature from a DSO is valid for 6 months. When does OPT end? And what happens next? OPT ends 1 year minus 1 day following the start of your employment authorization document. For example, if your EAD begins on May 20th, 2025, your OPT and EAD will expire on May 19th, 2026. Following the expiration of your OPT and EAD, you will have a 60-day grace period before you are required to leave the country. What if you want to stay in the U.S. after your OPT is completed? Students wishing to stay in the U.S. after completing OPT may possibly be able to do so by pursuing one of the following options. Applying for an H-1B visa. You may be eligible to apply for an H-1B work visa if you have a sponsoring employer. Consult your employer's Human Resources Office for more information about this possibility. Or you may choose to pursue another degree at an approved academic institution and continue as an F1 student. In this case, please consult the DSO of the academic institution at which you have chosen to continue your studies. Also, you'll need an NDNU DSO to transfer your I-20 if you are continuing your studies at a different school. Here are some frequently asked questions about OPT. Can I work in another state? Yes, you can work in other states. How do I know if employment is in my field of study? Your DSO cannot advise you on this. You will have to research and get advice from your dean. Which STEM majors qualify for STEM OPT extension? You must have completed a degree in a STEM major based on the Classification of Instructional Program Code. You can compare the CIP code on your I-20 with the complete list of DHS-approved CIP codes on the ICE website. What are the requirements for a STEM OPT extension? The requirement for work under STEM OPT are significantly more restrictive than those working under post-completion OPT. Your employment must meet the requirements of a Form I-983 training plan. You must be employed in a paid job that is related to your STEM major field, and that is for a qualified E-Verify employer. DHS grants STEM OPT extensions to eligible F1 students who are currently in a period of post-completion OPT once per degree level, such as bachelor's, master's, etc. A student may participate twice in the STEM OPT extension over the course of their academic career. Students may not apply for STEM OPT extensions during the 60-day grace period following an initial period of post-completion OPT, usually 12 months. To participate twice in the STEM OPT extension, a student must earn a second qualifying degree at a higher education level and must be participating in an initial period of OPT at the time they apply to USCIS for their second STEM OPT extension. In some cases, students may be eligible to use a prior STEM degree to qualify for their second STEM OPT extension. You can find more information about using a prior STEM degree to qualify for a 24-month STEM OPT extension through the next details. In order to receive the STEM OP extension, a student must pursue their practical training through an employer that is enrolled in USCIS E-Verify Employment Eligibility Verification Program. Additionally, STEM OPT extension applicants must select employers that can guarantee the student will complete a minimum of 20 hours of work per week and provide the student with formal training and learning objectives. The student must work with their potential STEM OPT extension employer to complete the Form I-983, which must include how the training opportunity has a direct relationship to the student's qualifying STEM degree. Visit our Students and the Form I-983 page to learn how to properly complete and submit the Form I-983. F1 students cannot qualify for STEM opt extensions unless they will be bona fide employees of the employer signing the Form I-983, because F1 students may not provide the employer attestation, that is, signatures, on their own behalf. However, they may use a startup business so long as all regulatory requirements are met. The employer that signs the Form I-983 must be the same entity that employs the student and provides the practical training experience. Please note that a student's post-completion OPT employer does not need to be the same as the student's STEM OPT extension employer. I want to thank you for joining me in this information session. For more details and individual questions addressed, you can contact the International Students Office. The individual officers are listed on this page alongside of their contact information. We look forward to assisting you on your journey and advancing your career to the next level.